Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever the hell you're listening to this. You're listening to Fat Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports, the sports pod with Dad Bod. This is your host, Jackknife, alongside your other host, Tommy Joe.
Yo.
And joining us via Discord is the Zach Daniels. How we doing, boys?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
Not bad. What about you, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad we're back doing this. Season of depression kicked my ass. It's time to get back to doing some fun stuff when the weather's warm.
Yeah, because we're just coming, like, the Super Bowl literally just happened. It was an exciting game. The Rams beat the Bengals.
Well, Jack, what? It's May. It's May 31st. It's almost June.
What?
Yeah. Where have you been?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was at Fire Academy for the past few months, and I had a hell of a time. I mean, those of you watching this on video are probably looking at my chiseled jawline and be like, Jackknife, what happened to you? Well, yeah, that's what happens when you go to Fire Academy. You lose 30 pounds. And, yeah, right now Tom and I are recording at one of my volunteer firehouses. I'm not going to say where, because if we say something stupid, you know, someone's going to be like, do you endorse this? You know,
Dox him.
If.
Yeah.
Clearly you never watched our episodes.
Yeah, I like to think we're smart. But yeah, I went through the Fire Academy. It was fun, but now it's time to do some fun stuff.
So have we all been like working out, or is it just me and you, Jack? Because now it's becoming the fit unathletic nerds talking
I guess I'm
sports.
the one keeping the fat unathletic nerds.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Tommy.
All right, so guys, where do we want to start? I guess we should talk about football briefly, considering, you know, that was where we left off. I mean, not going into too much detail over it. Zach, you want to take the reins on this one?
Yeah, we can do that real quick. The Rams beat the Bangles, which, by the way, was like the strangest matchup we could have had. Anyone saying they knew the Bengals were going to the Super Bowl is either a betting man or a dumb man, because there's no reason you should have thought that was going to happen at some point. But they did it. Joe Burrow was the man. They have no offensive line. They need to get better there. But the Rams won. Matt Stafford left Detroit and won a Super Bowl. If you want any idea of how cursed the Detroit Lions are, like that's how bad it is. They went 0 for 16, like 50 years since they got rid of their championship winning quarterback before the Super Bowl era. And now they lose Matt Stafford, probably the best quarterback they had since that time, and he wins the Super Bowl for the Los Angeles Rams, just like out of fucking nowhere. It's just so random, but good for him. And it was a good Super Bowl. I thought it was a good Super Bowl, not like the most exciting, but close game.
Yeah, I was happy, extremely happy for Matt Stafford. You know, I thought he was one of the better quarterbacks in the game. Just the problem was he was playing for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, he was throwing to Calvin Johnson at one point. He was throwing at Megatron.
Megatron probably still works.
Megatron.
But, Tom, stop messing with Discord.
I'm not. I'm trying to get it so we can see everything.
Yeah, well,
Jack,
look
what you just did.
Well, look what you did. See?
You did that. You've been touching it.
No, you did. Yeah. Those of you watching
Sorry.
on video will see how weird. are probably wondering why the hell the camera shifted in all these weird spots, but whatever. We'll keep going.
I'm still in the same spot. You guys like freeze, and then you're like your screen is frozen for like 5 minutes, and then it switches frames, and it's funny. Like now I have Jack going like this, and before it was like Tommy laughing. It's funny. I'm just talking to a picture now, but whatever. That's what you get with Discord sometimes. I can hear you guys pretty well though, so that's good. Jack, did you watch any of the NFL draft? I know it's like peak hockey season when that was going on, and I think the playoffs just started around then, like late April. Is that what it was?
I want to say yes, kind of, sort of. Yeah, that. Jeez, I have to look at the actual dates to freaking memorize that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I remember my fiance's sister's boyfriend, who's also a Jet fan, asked me, Jack, who do you want the Jets to draft this year? I'm like, I don't know. I've been so busy with everything, I couldn't give an informed opinion. But from what I saw, the Jets had a really I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. The Jets had a really good draft. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Anderson, and I forgot the name of the edge rusher. I think he's an edge rusher. They got out of Florida State.
Florida State, yep.
Yeah, I know what school he went to. But
Jameson Williams?
It might have been, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Jets have a competent GM.
I've been saying it for the past year, man. Joe Douglas, I think you guys have had a good couple of NFL drafts, and he's definitely building it from the ground up. And people are really crapping on Zach Wilson, but I think like he had a rookie season. A lot of the young guys stepped up later in the season. He had an injury too. He made a lot of mistakes early on, but his teammates weren't helping him out. Now it's like, dude, if he takes a step forward and all these guys you have, I mean, who was the big pickup at wide receiver you guys got?
I'm brain farting on this one because
Garrett Anderson was a great draft.
Well, they extended Braxton Berrios. I know that. Now I have to Google this like I'm Bill Burr whenever he's rambling.
Oh yeah. I forgot this. Who did the Jets get?
Garrett Wilson, Braxton Berrios, Elijah Moore. They still have Denzel Mims, Corey Davis.
Just want to interject here. Quick question. Was Nick Foles ever known as Saint Nick?
No. Well, yeah, he had so many nicknames. When you
like,
win a Super Bowl, you get all the nicknames in the world.
I completely forgot that he was signed by the Colts to replace Wentz again. But
Technically speaking,
I'm looking up his page on Google, and it says his nickname is Saint Nick. I never heard him referred to as Saint Nick. I've heard of Big Dick Nick.
Yeah, everyone
heard, but not Saint Nick. Just
you know what? No, I don't think you did add any other wide receivers, I guess. But Garrett Wilson's a good draft. You got C.J. Uzama and Tyler Conklin, and you drafted a kid who was a big Jets fan, I believe.
Oh yeah,
so you guys actually have
Island
tight ends now. Yeah, you guys have tight ends now, is what it is too. I just think you guys are actually building a good team, and that I don't. Other than the Bills, like you can beat the Dolphins, and I think you can beat the Patriots. The only thing that would beat you from the Patriots is Belichick.
Wait, did I really hear you say like you think the Jets could beat the Bills?
No. Oh. Besides the Bills.
Oh, okay.
The Dolphins and the Patriots, like I think, like besides the Bills, like they're on another tier right now with like in the whole NFL.
Yeah, I gotta say, I can understand Josh Rosen. Yeah, hell no. I can understand Josh Allen being better. Like, I can live with that, with him being better for now. But this year, Wilson needs to show he's better than Mac Jones and he's better than Tua. What I want out of the Jets this year is at least 500 and competitive in every game. That I'll give them like an A- on this season.
I would give that an A+ if you go above 500. Because remember, there is no 500 anymore. There's 17 games. It's an odd number.
Yeah, hence why I said around 500. Did I say around 500?
Okay. I think you said 500, but it's okay because we're still not used to the 17 game thing. But I mean, we can run it back and see later if you were right. Or
Giants
wrong.
drafted Kayvon Thibodeau, and
that was huge. You got him and Williams, and that's just going to be destruct. And your defensive line is going to look good. You got Shaq Lawson still, what's his name? Mosley, is that his name? I forget. I forget the Jets roster right now. All I know is I think you guys
we got C.J. Mosley. I mean, I did want to talk a little.
Pretty solid.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the Giants, but we went right back.
We don't have to talk about the Giants.
Goddamn Jets.
Yeah, that's because you like the Eagles. But yeah, you want to go on your Eagles? You think they had an amazing draft?
Oh well, I think just like the Jets, we had 3 first-round picks. How about that? We both had 3 first-round picks, but the way we went about it was we traded one. Howie Roseman will trade draft picks every day of the week. We traded one away and we gave them to the Saints. If you don't know, the Saints are in cap hell right now. Like they're they're in big trouble with that. They don't know who their quarterback is, and they didn't draft one early, at least. And I mean, I understand the quarterback draft class was not that amazing, but they didn't draft a quarterback early this year, so it's either going to be Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill, and both of those guys, in my opinion, average to mediocre at best. And I think they're going to have a crap year. So we took a first round from them for next year. So we're going to have 2 first-round picks again next year. Great. So if Jalen Hurts doesn't pan out, we can draft a new quarterback. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's our fallback plan. Then our first draft pick, who did we get again? I don't even remember. I was so hyped about the other one, A.J. Brown. We traded our second one for A.J. Brown. So basically, I count that as our first draft pick, because we got Jordan Davis.
You got him from Tennessee. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we got A.J. Yeah, we traded for A.J. Brown, which honestly, I mean, he's a fucking beast, and I'm so glad. So we have him and Devontae Smith now as our 1 and 2, and we drafted Jordan Davis, defensive lineman.
Tom just said to me, "Did he say Jordan Davis?" And then you literally just said Jordan Davis.
Yes, that's exactly it. Because I was forgetting, because I'm like, all I remembered was A.J. Brown, because the wide receiver is the sexy one, the sexy pick. Whoa, pause. No, I didn't say that. But like Jordan Davis was good. But then the big thing for us was in the third round. Well, first off, the second round, we got a kid named Cam Jurgens from Nebraska or Wisconsin or something. I don't remember.
Nebraska.
But it was Nebraska. He was a center, and no joke, he was on like NFL Network or somewhere, or was it NBC Sports Philly? They had Jason Kelsey like live watching with the broadcast team. It must have been a Philly station. And they were like, "So what do you think about this, Jason?" And Jason was like, "Oh, he was my favorite player in the draft. I handpicked him. We actually wanted him, to be my replacement when the time comes." I'm like, "That's fucking awesome." And then the third round, they got Nakobe Dean, who was listed as like a first round possibility, but apparently there was some injuries that was floating around, like injury rumors that were floating around. And then I heard an interview with him on WIP radio, Philly Sports, that he was like, "Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I didn't need to get surgery. I don't know what all this talk about me getting surgery was. I had several opinions on it, and they never told me that this was a necessary surgery. And that I didn't technically need it." So, and he's right now on the practice field, like he's doing OTAs with the team. So, I think we got away with a steal there. But yeah. So I think our teams did pretty good, Jack.
I want to go back to the Jets real quickly. I mean, there's been stories about, they're trying to make it a storyline how Mekhi Becton hasn't been to OTAs and, he's recovering from the injury. He's put on a little weight. I mean, I'm not putting too much stock into that considering he's an offensive lineman. He is supposed to be freaking huge, but it is very important that he be healthy because Lord knows Zach Wilson does need his protection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Tom, you got anything to say on the Colts?
Seems like first round pick we drafted Alec Pierce, a wide receiver out of Cincinnati. A lot of good talk around him. I'm guessing he would be replacing Hilton.
Hopefully.
Because he's pretty old. I mean, I remember watching his first game with the Colts. Was that with Manning? I don't know. It was either Manning or like the first year with Luck. Third round pick, because we didn't have a first round pick. Second round pick was Jelani Woods out of Virginia, a tight end. Not much about him.
You guys are loading up on weapons from Matt Ryan, huh?
Yeah, I got another offensive tackle, Bernhard Ryman out of Central Michigan.
He's good. I heard he's really good.
Yeah, he has a grade A out of whatever website this is, Colts Wired, USA Today. Also got safety Nick Cross out of Maryland. He's got an A- rating.
Oh, you're going off of USA Today.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Defensive tackle Eric Johnson out of Missouri State. Got a B. Tight end Andrew Ogletree.
Ogletree.
I think I remember his name coming up too.
Youngstown State. Yeah, he got a C+. That's definitely the worst on I've seen so far. Defensive tackle Curtis Brooks out of Cincinnati. Another grade A. Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty good draft class.
Yeah. And we got Matt Ryan and Nick Foles, and hopefully we can have a quarterback for more than a year. And I can actually, enjoy watching the Colts again and not having to worry about the next season.
Yeah.
That's the thing with you guys.
Welcome to life of being a Jets fan.
Well, the Jets had Darnold for a couple of years, and now they have Zach Wilson. It's like the Colts just are every year. It was Luck, Rivers, Wentz. Now it's Ryan. It's can we just get 1 year or 2 years straight of the same guy and seeing what happens? Because ultimately that kind of really determines a lot of what happens. I mean, I thought Wentz was not bad for you guys, but the whole team pooped their pants against the Jaguars. What the fuck was that all about?
Don't get me started on that. And even the Jaguars didn't want to win. They didn't want to win because they wanted the first round pick.
You mean almost everyone has a first round pick. You mean first overall pick?
Yeah, the first overall pick. But it's almost like when an older band has the lead frontman die, so they just have these celebrities fill in every now and then. That's kind of what the Colts are. Here, just play in a Lux grade, here, have fun. Won't see you next year because we only do 1 year deals.
Yeah, really.
It's like dancing with the stars.
Dancing with the stars.
You got to get consistency. That's all.
Because a team's not going to grow that way.
Nope.
You get the best team, but if you keep changing the front man, it's never going to work.
Never. I think we covered NFL, Jack. You want to move on? What's the next sport you want to move
Baseball.
on to?
I mean, the Mets and Yankees are both on fire. I mean, both teams in both major markets are on fire. The Yankees and Mets are good. The Dodgers and Angels are good. Last I checked, the Yankees, at the time of this recording, the Yankees are beating the Angels 7-1. They've been, they're in first. The Yankees are in first place. I mean, I would have liked to see them take 3 out of 1 against Tampa Bay, but a split's okay. And the Mets are 9.5 games ahead without Jacob deGrom or Max Scherzer. But yeah, that Mets are 9.5 ahead. Yankees 5 ahead. Aaron Judge, he kind of stirred up. I don't know if stirred up controversy is the right way to put it, but he put it out there. He wants his big contract now, and he doesn't want to negotiate during the season. So it's very likely he could be playing his last season as a Yankee, but I don't have the exact stats right in front of me. Tom, pulling up on your computer. Judge is playing.
The Yankees would be stupid for that. They would be so stupid to let that guy go. He is dominating right now. He's the hottest. He's one of the hottest players in the game. In fact, he might be the hottest player in the game right now.
Yeah, in fact, he might have robbed. I think he robbed Shohei Ohtani tonight of a home run.
Oh man, he's a horse, bro. He even looks like a horse.
Yeah, right now Judge has 18 home runs. That's among top of the league, if not top in the league.
Oh, he was leading the league last week with 17 by a lot, 5 home runs or so, maybe even more.
Yeah, that and the pitching has been great. I love Nasty Nestor Cortez. Garrett Cole is getting back to his old self. Maybe he found a legal sticky thing. Who knows? Make what you will about that.
I was going to say, what happened in 2020? He only got 9 home runs. I forgot. 2020 was COVID.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what was I going to say? Don't tell me. Oh, yeah. Their bullpen, if I'm not mistaken, is has the second best ERA behind the Dodgers. Well, I saw that a couple days ago. I don't know if that still holds packed, but still. Their bullpen's dominant. But, as good as things are, there's also freaking things that aren't so good. Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo are anchors. They don't serve any purpose here. They just go up there and they strike out, especially Aaron Hicks and runners with runners in scoring position. Joey Gallo might be easier to get rid of because he's a free agent after this. But Aaron Hicks, they gave a god-awful contract to. That's going to be a lot harder to move.
Yeah, Aaron Hicks, man. It seems like he's universally hated by the Yankees fans now, and it's funny because like the team is doing so well. That's how bad you have to be. Like,
yeah, they're winning in spite of those guys.
Joey Gallo honestly is doing the same thing that he's always done, which is basically boom or like he's literally boom.
That's why
bust.
when we traded him for him, I was like, "What are you doing? This guy, every time he doesn't hit a home run, he strikes out." Yeah, every time he doesn't hit a home run, he strikes out.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just like he's you knew what you were getting when you got Joey Gallo, and that's fine. Whatever. Honestly, it's not bad to have another big bat in the lineup that can take a yard anytime he wants. Besides when he strikes out, it's kind of, but it's a risky move. Aaron Hicks, like how old is he? Do you know how old he is?
He's definitely in his 30s or something.
Is he? He's been on the team a while, but like all of a sudden it has become like.
Yeah, we got Minnesota Twins Aaron Hicks. Yes, he's 32 years old.
Yeah, it's getting to the point. I have heard so many Yankees fans say like that dude's got to go, and you got to really be stinking it up for a team that's like 15 or 16 games over 500 to say that. Like to have fans like chop your head off when you're leading the division and one of the best teams in baseball. So
yeah, and like
it's not good.
I thought if anyone would be an anchor, Josh Donaldson might have been, because I thought he was a dinosaur, but he's holding his own too.
I always like Josh Donaldson. He's a scrappy dude.
Yep, he's doing well. He's a good Yankee. Good Yankee. Mm-hmm. NL West. Oh yeah, I remember seeing a few weeks ago every team in the NL West was over 500.
Yeah, no, the NL West is like disgustingly stacked right now. I mean, like. I know the AL East has been like people are saying like oh the best one. If the Diamondbacks and the Rockies can play well, that is easily the most stacked with the Padres, the Giants, and the Dodgers at the top of the standings. The NL West is just out of control if those other two teams are good. The AL East has the Baltimore Orioles, so no matter what, you have one stinker right there.
As much as I love their uniforms and I love Camden Yards.
And you know what they fuck it. Let's go off topic here, all right? Forget the rest because I don't want to talk about the Phillies anyway. They stink this year. They're more disappointing than they ever have been before because they actually had expectations and they're somehow going like even if our expectations were like here, our expectations were up here at the start of the season. They're like even if they were down here, they're playing like this low. Like they're below my feet. They're below my feet right now. What the hell did they do to Camden Yards? Why did they push that wall back?
Because that wall was so shallow, and every team that played there besides the Orioles was freaking hitting home runs.
Who gives a shit? It's fucking terrible. It is an awful. It doesn't look good. The players hate it. Like both for every team, they don't like it at all. That's the thing. Other teams are hitting home runs. The Orioles could have been hitting home runs over that. They just have a terrible team.
True. It's like the Yankees with the short porch. The short porch giveth, the short porch taketh away.
The Phillies have a short porch in right field too. That's why when we got Bryce Harper, we also ended up getting Kyle Schwarber because he's a lefty bat and he can hit
Gregorius.
I mean, like it. Yeah, some people just have that, but like it doesn't even look good. I looked at it. It doesn't even look good. It makes no sense. It's horrible to look at, and no one likes it. It's just,
yeah.
Oh my God, Jack, you're right.
Yeah, no. Look at a picture of what it used to look like, and then look at a picture of like now. Like
it
compare
doesn't look
them.
aesthetically pleasing.
Was it just flat before?
It was just
Yeah. What?
It was just a fence around, and I think right field has like a scoreboard. It gets a little bit taller there.
Yes.
But instead, they pushed the outfield like a couple, like 30 feet, like 20 feet back. Shit, made the wall bigger. So like, Righty batters are just getting fucked.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, not only did they push the left field back further, they made the wall taller. So, yeah, even Aaron Judge had basically a home run taken away because of it. So,
Question. Do you like how in baseball that there's no kind of regulation to field size?
I personally love it. It brings
I love that.
It brings uniqueness to every stadium.
I mean, of course, all the infields have to be the same. Bases have to be the same. But
yeah.
Well, like, how boring would it be if every stadium had the same thing? Like, that means if you hit the ball in a certain spot in any stadium, it's going to be the same outcome. But if so I love Fenway because in Fenway, there's just all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
They have the Green Monster, which is like, it's not even that far of a left field, but it's like 100 feet tall.
Yeah.
You have Pesky's Pole? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Pesky's Pole in right field?
Right field is Pesky's Pole, left field is Fisk's Pole.
Even the corners of most fields are like very short, usually like 300 and I don't know, like 300 and like I'm not even gonna take a guess. But the point is Pesky's Pole is stupid short. And then Pesky's Pole also like just rounds out. It goes further out, further out. It's like a 3-foot tall wall. It goes further out and curves around into where the bullpens are. And then where the bullpens end, it just slices deep into center field, and center field turns into like 440 fucking feet. And that's just triples alley, maybe even in the park home run alley. So it's like, I love that shit. I love how crazy that is. The Phillies have a little bit of a funky outfield. I remember the Houston Astros have a really weird outfield, and they used to have a weirder one.
Yeah.
They don't have the hill anymore.
Yeah, they got rid of the hill.
Yeah, but I remember when they had that. That was, dude. I remember so many times center fielders running up that and try to make. I mean, it was automatic web jam if you made a catch off that.
Yeah,
hill.
Lance Berkman made a famous play on there. I want to say Carlos Beltran did too.
Yeah, if you made a catch on that hill, you were a legend.
Automatic web jam.
Automatic web jam.
But yeah. Mets, Brewers, and Dodgers are leading the divisions with the Padres, Cardinals, and Giants in the wild card spots. Yankees, Twins, and Astros are leading in the AL, whereas the Rays, Jays, and Blue Jays and Angels are in the wild card spots. Anyway, on to basketball. We don't have that much to say other than that we have an NBA Finals matchup. It's the Celtics versus the Warriors. Normally I'd go with the Warriors. The team playing against the Warriors in this because screw the Warriors. But because they are playing the Celtics and I have no love for any Boston sports team, I'm going to be rooting for the Warriors. That being said, if you were to hold a gun to my head and tell me a Boston team has to win this year, pick one, it would be the Celtics. Because they're the team I hate the least in Boston.
I know I like basketball a decent amount, but after the Sixers lost, it kind of broke my heart, and I wasn't that interested in the conference finals. But I gotta say, the Celtics getting to the finals, as much as I absolutely fucking hate them, they're a scrappy team. They're another very scrappy team. You gotta respect it. And Jason Tatum has, in my opinion, become a top five player in the sport. He is the man, and but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think the Warriors are going to win in 6. The Warriors have their vets that have done this before. They've been there before. Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and finally, for the first time in like 2-3 years, Klay Thompson. I mean, honestly, a true comeback story after the fact that, like, I think both of his legs. The point is, he was out for like 2 years or something like that. There's some ridiculous amount of days. And he comes back and he's playing pretty well. He's playing pretty decent. And there's a bunch of young guys on the team that are playing well too. I just think, and they also had a week rest. They won 4-1 in the Western Conference Finals against the Mavs, which was another shocking team. And the Heat just had a battle with the Heat up until, or the Celtics had a battle with the Heat.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Heat battled themselves?
Yeah. The Heat did battle themselves because it was really just Jimmy Butler carrying the weight.
Yeah, I watched the end of that Game 7, and the Heat were just... they're missing basket after basket. I'm like, are you guys trying to lose? I mean, come on.
Yeah. No. The Boston's a very good team though. They're gonna fight. So I expect this to go to 6. I think the Warriors win in 6, and then we'll leave it at that because I'm gonna watch that. That starts on Thursday. I can't wait to watch that. Do you want to go to hockey now, Jack? Because I know you're gonna know exactly what's going on there.
Oh, I'd love to go to hockey.
Congrats to the Rangers. Look at that. Getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. All right. We were just talking about how you thought they sucked like a year ago or something like that.
Well, me and Darley thought they sucked. I thought the Rangers
rebuild.
Yeah, I thought the Rangers were on a good pace, but I didn't think they were ready to compete this year. But we'll get to that later. Tommy Joe is here. He's going to talk some NASCAR for us.
Oh, okay. We're going to get to NASCAR.
No, you go first.
All right. So
you ain't first, you last.
So it's been a while since I've done a little splash and go here, you know?
I mean, you went to a couple races.
I did. I went to 2 races this year, 3 races this year, and I've only seen 1 checkered flag. Because for some reason, me in a racetrack is like a magnet to water. If you live in an area where you guys need rainwater, like in a drought, just have an NASCAR race and invite me to go, and I can guarantee you it will rain. I went to Bristol Dirt. I was able to see the trucks race on Saturday night. Great race, great show. And then the next day was the Bristol Dirt race for the Cup Series, and it was a beautiful day. All day was beautiful. 70 degrees. I got sunburned. It was great. The race starts at 7 o'clock. And what happens at 7 o'clock? The clouds come. It gets dark. And then it starts raining. Get about most of the race in. And then after two rain delays, the second one we finally left, only to miss Kyle Busch win his first race of the year and his first dirt race in the Cup Series. And then fast forward 2 weeks, I'm at Dover. Again, beautiful, beautiful weather at Dover. Beautiful weather at Dover, but it's a late race. It's a 3 o'clock start, and what happens? About 80 laps in, starts to rain. They lose the track, and unfortunately, Dover can't have lights because of military base.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they had military base. I didn't know they couldn't have lights.
Yeah, they can't have lights because apparently it interferes with the pilots, which doesn't make sense because I don't know say you could use a circle or an oval with a flat runway. But hey. So that got postponed to the next day, and I missed that, and I missed Chase Elliott winning.
Oh, that's one of your boys.
It is one of my boys. It's one of my Hendrick boys. But fortunately, I got Pocono coming up. I'm going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah, you filmed a lot of content there, but
Yes.
I never had time to edit it.
Yeah, so I do have content. Alex and we have content from Bristol and Dover. It's just been a lot to edit because it's been like 4 different cameras, and trying to get it all into one source and to get it going is kind of the hard part. And also trying to find motivation from working all the time. But into NASCAR news, actually into racing news. So we just came from the best weekend in racing. You had Monaco, the Indy 500, and the Coke 600 all in the same day. Not gonna lie, I don't know who won Monaco. I didn't watch. I'm not really a big fan of F1. But you have Marcus Ericsson winning his first Indy 500. And somehow, Jimmy Johnson got Indy 500 Rookie of the Year after qualifying 12th, running in the back most of the race, and wrecking with 6 laps to go, bringing out the red flag. The funny thing about that is that Marcus Ericsson, keep thinking of how much mother. Marcus Ericsson, he has 3 wins. Sorry, before this he had 2 wins in the IndyCar series. Both wins came with a red flag, and now his 3rd win comes with a red flag. He got to celebrate, and then NASCAR had its longest race in history, 619 and a half miles. Longest race in history.
That's the Coke 600 this year.
Yeah, regularly it's 600 miles, but there was a bunch of overtime cautions and made the race go into overtime.
To interject, Tommy. Sorry. I did see someone on Twitter that night say the fact that this race is going into overtime is lol. Like,
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, this has got to be something Tommy's going to talk about.
Yeah, so usually races are 500 miles or shorter, usually being about 400 miles. That seems to be the new norm. But I will say, the racing was great. A couple weeks ago, last week, you had Texas for the All-Star race. And Texas is a horrible track. The racing sucked. It was follow the leader. There was hardly any passing. Oh!
Are you talking about the disaster that was that All-Star race?
Disaster that was the All-Star race. So, imagine this. Imagine what's the hockey team that throws the squids out?
It's Octopus, and it's the Detroit Red Wings.
Okay, so imagine for whatever reason the game's called the Detroit Red Wings win, and they start throwing the Octopus on the ice, and then the refs come out like, whoa, that we missed something. We have to redo the last 1 minute of the game. They're already in celebration mode. Now you have to go back and get back into competition mode. That's exactly what happened at the All-Star race. The race was boring as hell, and coming to the checker flag, there was Ricky Stenhouse hit the wall, light contact with the wall, and right before Ryan Blaney took the checker flag, the yellow flag comes out. Now, usually in NASCAR, once the white flag is waved, the next flag ends the race, whether it's a caution flag or the checkered flag. But in the All-Star race, it has to end under a checkered flag. So when the officials threw out the caution right before Ryan Blaney passed, he didn't realize that the caution waved, or he didn't realize that the race has to end under checker, so he drops his window net. And you need to keep the window net up the race, because it's a safety thing. Now that window net's very hard to get back in, because it's the way that it's strapped in. It's made to be easy to pull out, but hard to get in because it has to be tight tension. So
Right.
As the caution laps are going, Ryan Blaney's trying to drive his car and put this window net back in.
Oh no.
The team will put the window net in before the race. And eventually he got it to stay, and they restarted the race, and he finished and he won. But his window net wasn't tight, and NASCAR admitted to dropping the ball on the caution, saying they called the caution prematurely, and it should have never happened. But instead of letting Ryan Blaney pit to fix his window net and go back out and resume the lead because of their own fault, they let him race with a unsecure window net, which could have been horrible had a wreck happened, because this is the All-Star race. It's for $1 million. There's no points. You win or lose. You're first or last. You don't
get any points. You just win money if you come in first.
Fast forward, and everyone was complaining about the race and saying how races need to be shorter. We need to get out of Texas. And now we're in Charlotte this past weekend.
Yeah, which is where it used to be.
Yeah, and which is the longest NASCAR race of the year, and not one person complained about how long it was. So the issue isn't how long the races are; it's the quality of racing.
Yeah,
people will watch a good race. They don't want to see crap for fucking 500 miles, which I can agree with.
Yeah.
NASCAR, Goodyear had batted back at the teams and saying that they need to change the tire pressures to be accurate, to be within their specifications, and that would prevent the blowouts. Well, I think there was only one blowout this weekend, but a lot of drivers spun out because now there's not enough grip. And there seems to be a bunch of back and forth between NASCAR and Goodyear about this new tire, because when they got the new next-gen car, they went to a 17-inch wheel, so it's a lower profile tire. It behaves completely different than the tire from the past, and it's just stuff they have to work out. That you can't put this in a computer or a simulator and test it. You need to test this in real life, and this is the test that we're doing.
Right.
Yeah. Would you consider it as bad as like the tire wars when it was Goodyear versus Hoosier?
It might get to that.
Oh, wow.
It might. And let's see.
But yeah, Zach, basically what you need to know before that is that was like back in like 80s, 90s. Hoosier didn't have the technology to stick on the big tracks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so Hoosier is a small manufacturer out of Indiana.
And they're still active today.
Yeah,
they just work small. They're just
they
good
do,
for small tracks.
Yeah. They don't have the manpower to compete with Goodyear. But Hoosier was cheaper, and a lot of teams went with Hoosier because it was a cheaper tire. And it was a pretty nasty war. And then eventually Goodyear won out. Yeah. And Hoosier seceded. And they're more of a staple in dirt track and local track racing. Phoenix sold out. The last race of the year is already sold out.
Wow.
Which is news to me because that's never happened. Usually a race will sell out maybe the week of, like Daytona will sell out because that's
it's the Daytona
500. But I mean, very rare for a race to sell out this far in advance. It's in November, and we're only in May, and it's sold out. So that's a good sign.
Wow! Holy shit! That's crazy.
That's a good sign.
That's great for the sport.
Yeah.
It's a great sign for the sport.
With Denny Hamlin winning at Charlotte the Coke 600, he now completed the NASCAR Grand Slam and won all the crown jewels: the Daytona 500, the Southern 500, and the Coke 600.
Yeah, Denny's not exactly your favorite driver, but I think the only thing missing for him is a championship.
Yeah, he will probably be the best driver to never win a championship.
You hope he is, at least.
He will be the best driver to not win a championship.
He's demanding it.
Yes.
He's declaring it.
I am declaring it. I declare bankruptcy.
I declare Denny Hamlin never be a champion.
They're going to the NASCAR Cup Series is going to their first time going to Worldwide Technology Raceway, which is out in St. Louis. New area, new market. Hopefully it goes well for them. What else we got? Point standings. So, as of right now, you got Ross Chastain leading with 2 wins. Chase Elliott with 1 win.
Someone's in here.
Where?
Okay.
Chase Elliott with 1 win, but he has a ton of stage points. And you got William Byron, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Joe Logano, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, Kurt Busch, Austin Cindric, Tyler Reddick, Chris Bell, and Kevin Harvick to round out your top 16. Now, of those 16, I believe there is, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 winners, which is actually a lot.
That's good parity. I'll say that.
That is good parity because there's 12 winners, only 16 spots. The playoffs have been sold in the past as you win and you're in. But if we have more than 16 winners, a win may not get you into the playoffs.
Yeah, because NASCAR's playoff system is strange.
Yes. And then to keep it in spirit to the Indy 500, I'm going to have Jack try to pronounce names of Indy 500 drivers. We'll start with this one.
You got to send me these to me while I'm editing these later, so people on video, watching on video, could see it.
Yes.
See what I'm seeing. Roman Grosjean?
Roman Grosjean.
Roman Grosjean. Okay. He's French. Okay.
And another French name.
Simon Pagenaud.
Simon Pagenaud.
Simon Pagenaud. That's like John Gabriel Pagenaud. Okay.
This one you're either going to get or miss completely.
Rinus VeeKay?
Rinus VeeKay.
Rinus VeeKay. Okay, at least I got the last name.
Pretty good. That wasn't that bad.
Yeah. And this one's really hard.
Oh, geez. I don't know how I'm going to pronounce Jimmy Johnson correctly. All right. Which translates to me, we're going to talk about hockey now.
Hold on, Jack. We let Tom and I both.
Yes.
Let's do this one first. Before you get into your, because you're going to know the whole playoffs. I know you're on top of that 100%. And I was going to get another drink. But I wanted to do, because I see you have them listed, the hockey names.
Oh, that's right. You can see it. Okay. Who wants to go first?
So, let Tom go first.
You want me to go first? All right. Let's see. Where are they?
Oh, you scroll down, you dope. It's okay. We're still here. All right.
All right.
It's okay. Crisis averted. All right.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Zach, you see it, correct?
Yep, I got the first one.
Okay. Okay, Tom, you go first. Zach, you're more likely to know than Thomas, so Tom's gonna go first.
Yep.
Wait, what's with the second one? Or the third one?
Just shut up and try.
All right.
Yes, go in order. I only gave you 3.
Leon Draisaitl.
Zach, go ahead.
Leon Draisaitl.
Tom, I wouldn't say you had it. I wouldn't say you're correct, but you were definitely close. Leon Draisaitl.
Draisaitl. Okay.
Okay. So it was more like what it's actually spelled.
Yeah. So yeah, Tom, you were close on that one. Okay. Next,
Patrick Laine.
Zach.
I'm just gonna go Patrick Lane too. Lane.
Patrick
Laine.
Laine.
See,
Patrick Laine.
Laine.
There's no
Laine.
fucking accent.
Laine.
There's no accents there.
Okay. And last but not least, Tom, you're definitely going first on this one.
Patrick Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again, Tom.
Patrick Roy.
One more time.
We'll do that together. Patrick Roy.
Zach, you know it. Tell him.
Patrick Roy. Isn't that right? That's right,
Yes,
right?
it is. Patrick Roy.
Yeah, it's Patrick Roy.
But
It's
yeah,
super French. It's Canadian French as shit.
Man Darley told me a story once. He went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and some girl goes, "Who's Patrick Roy?" And then literally everyone in the room screamed, "Wah!"
Yeah. Dude, honestly, I remember back when ESPN actually covered every sport, when the Avalanche were good with him at goalie. I just remember them saying Patrick Roy. I was like, oh, Patrick Roy, he's really good, because also Martin Brodeur, being us from Jersey.
Yeah.
I went to several Devils games, so I knew Brodeur and I knew Roy. And I just remember thinking, like, I didn't ask anyone. Like, no one else was really interested in hockey in my family, but I just remember, like, watching it on TV and, like, seeing the highlights being like, why the fuck are they saying wow? It's clearly Roy.
Well, because he's French-Canadian, that's why. Yep, he had a great career, Hall of Fame goalie. I think he won 2 with Colorado. I think he definitely won 1 with Montreal. He might have won 2 with Montreal, but I can't remember.
Oh, he left Colorado, huh?
No, he left Montreal.
Speaking,
it was
Oh!
But yeah, that was like infamous moment, Zach. Like, Patrick Roy was getting beat so bad against the Detroit Red Wings one night, and it was like, usually when you're getting beaten bad in games out of reach, the coach will pull the goalie, and he wasn't getting pulled this game, and it was like 9-0 at some point. He made like a stop on like a dump in. The fans gave him a sarcastic cheer, and then when it was like 9-0, they finally pulled him. He goes to the Montreal GM, who's sitting right behind the bench, and he said either one of these 2 things. He either said, "This is my last game for the Canadians," or "Trade me." He was traded to the Colorado Avalanche.
It was probably both of those things. This is my last game for the Canadians. Trade me.
Yeah, he was a crazy. You gotta see highlights of this guy angry. Patrick Roy was an insane dude.
I heard he was
Even
good,
when he
though.
was a coach,
good,
he was
right?
insane. Yes, Zach?
I'm sorry. I heard he was good, though. Wasn't he good?
Oh,
I thought he was.
He's one of the best goalies of all time. He's in my.
Yeah.
I put him in my top 3.
So when did he play? Because all I remembered was growing up when I was very young, he was on the Avalanche.
He played in like the late 80s to like the early 2000s.
Holy shit. Holy shit, that blows my mind then.
Yeah. I'll
Wow.
see if I can get an
Holy
exact
fuck.
number on that. But while I look that up, now we get into it. The Final Four is set. If you were to go back to me and tell me last year when the Rangers fired both John Davidson and Jeff Gordon that the next season they'd be one of the Final Four teams in the playoffs, I'd say, what on God's green earth are you smoking?
Well, I kind of agree with that, because what does a NASCAR driver know about hockey?
I mean, he probably, if he watched the sport, he'd probably know a good amount. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, the Final Four set. The Rangers are going to be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. And in the West, we got the Colorado Avalanche versus the Edmonton Oilers. That round, we'll talk about the West matchup in a little bit. That's currently happening. Game 1 is currently happening as we speak. And holy crap, it's 7-4 Avalanche late in the second period.
Game.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, first we'll get into the
Wow, I think he's up by 1.
Eastern Conference matchup. And yes, Patrick Waugh played from 84 to 2003. Yeah. To get here, the Rangers had to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Carolina Hurricanes. And they faced a lot of adversity in both series. They overcame a 3-1 deficit. They overcame a 3-1 deficit against Pittsburgh and a 2-0 deficit against the Hurricanes. Now, I thought this year was the year for the Rangers to go to the playoffs, maybe win a playoff round, gain some experience, and build from that. And, there was no excuse for them to lose the Pittsburgh series, which they eventually did triumph, considering Pittsburgh was down to a literal AHL goalie. I wouldn't call him that literal of an AHL goalie. He did play some NHL games prior to this. But yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins were down to Louis Domingue, and there were some... How do I put it this way? Pittsburgh fans are still very salty of the series, trying to say the Rangers were handed the series despite the fact that every 50-50 call went in favor of the Penguins, and the Penguins had the majority of the power play opportunities. So I'm like, yeah, cry me a river, okay? Freaking whether it was the Philip Hedl goal that got taken away, even though Capo Caco was clearly pushed into Casey DeSmith, or in Game 7, a high-stick goal from Gensel. The replay clearly shows the stick over the crossbar. The situation in Toronto room, it's okay. It's a goal. Thank God for Mika Zibanejad turning it on in Game 6 and Game 7. Yeah, because the Rangers had to overcome a 2-0 deficit in Game 5 and another 2-0 deficit in Game 6. Zibanejad just turned it on in Game 6. And Zibanejad scored again late in Game 7. Because, the whole feeling that third period is we're going to lose. Then we go into overtime. Keandre Miller does an amazing move. Partial breakaway, draws the penalty. Or Artemi Panarin, who many consider the Rangers to be the Rangers' best offensive player. And I agree with them. I still think he's hurt. And he scores the game winner in overtime. I screamed at the top of my lungs. I woke up my grandpa and his 2 dogs. He wasn't too happy about that. But anyway, the next series was against the Carolina Hurricanes. This was my pick to go for who I thought was going to represent the East in the Stanley Cup. Rangers played very well Game 1, but Carolina stole it after, the Rangers weren't able to put them away. Carolina won every single home playoff game and lost every single away game. Yeah, I kid you not. So they went up 2-0, and then, we were at Moore's last Tuesday. We saw them tie the series 2-2. Carolina won Game 5, Rangers won Game 6. So I'm just thinking, oh boy, here we go. Game 7, it's at home against Carolina. It's all right, the same trend is probably going to stay the same because, like I said, Carolina is a team that bends and never breaks. They're so structured. But the Rangers score early. They go up 2-0 in the first period. Then they take a 3-0 lead into second intermission. I'm like, holy shit, this team's 20 minutes away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Igor Shesterkin wasn't able to pick up the shutout, which, it's not the end of the world. I still want him to pull a shutout out of his ass. It's okay. But, the Rangers beat the Penguins, which was expected, and shocked the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, there are some doubters, because in both series, the Penguins and Hurricanes were down to their second-string goalies. Correction, Game 7, Tristan Jarry, the number 1 goalie for the Penguins, played on a broken foot. It didn't seem to bother him that much. But yeah, people are trying to be like, oh, you would have lost if you placed a real goalie. Yeah. Tristan Jarry had a meltdown in the playoffs last year against the Islanders, 1. 2, Frederik Andersen of the Hurricanes. Yeah, you really think he would have made a difference in the playoffs? Ask any Toronto Maple Leafs fan about Frederik Andersen in the playoffs, especially Game 7s in Boston. Yeah. They don't hold a candle to Igor Shesterkin, who without a doubt is the Rangers MVP so far. But, I'm done blowing smoke up the Rangers' ass right now. You can tell.
So you know what I want to know? What I just want to comment on, like, every sport real quickly is that, like, now in 2022, the new thing is no matter who the team is, how they win, and what they do, and every game, it's like the only thing haters do or people that don't like the team do is just make up fucking excuses as to why they won rather than just say, oh, they won the series. Like,
I'm the same way. I'm just enough of an asshole to admit it.
Same thing in NASCAR too. Oh God.
That's just how everyone is. That's just like, it's just how it feels like everyone's been doing that for years, but it's getting worse. It's to the point like every series is just for every sport. It's unbelievable,
But what about the fact that you had not once, not 2, but 3 times the Penguins had 3 chances to close out the Rangers. Didn't do it. Rangers came back. The Carolina Hurricanes had 2 chances to close out the Rangers. Didn't do it. And both teams have like solid defensive cores where like it doesn't really matter who's in net. They don't have to face a lot. But anyway, I'm done. Like I said, I'm done blowing up smoke up the Rangers' ass. It's time to talk about the Lightning.
I wanted to hear that. I'm gonna go get a drink because I just wanted to hear you brag about the Rangers.
Okay, well, I'm sure I'll be talking a little bit more about the Rangers in a little bit. But the Lightning beat the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. Tampa Bay forced Game 7 against the Maple Leafs and won Game 7 in Toronto. Tom, if I'm not mistaken, Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won a playoff series since 2004.
Wow.
Yeah, they're essentially the Yankees of hockey as far as, popularity goes. But
it's kind of like the anti-Red Sox.
Anti-Red Sox, yeah. Well, they haven't. You want to know how many teams were in the league the last time the Leafs won Stanley Cup? You might know.
14.
This. No.
Wait, the last time who won a Stanley Cup?
The Leafs.
Oh, 6.
Yeah, that's right. So they haven't won since there were 6 teams in the league. But Tampa Bay came back against a hungry Toronto Maple Leafs team that's been to the playoffs for I don't know how many years in a row. But, they were hungry to finally freaking win a playoff series. Mm-hmm. But they're going to have to wait another year. And then the next round, they just steamroll the Florida Panthers, who won the President's Trophy this year. Tom, the President's Trophy means that's the team that got the most points in the league. I'm not talking about goals. I'm talking about, like, most wins, and overtime losses, because you know how I told you how standings work in hockey. Mm-hmm. The Panthers were so distraught after Game 3. They literally partied at a Florida strip club till 5 in the morning. The next
must be a Florida thing.
Yeah, and meanwhile they had Game 4.
That you, Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. Oh Jesus. Yeah. So the Rangers looking to put themselves on the map, or they basically have. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are basically trying to cement their dynasty. Mm-hmm. Looking for a three-peat, which hasn't been done since the early 80s when the New York Islanders in the middle won 4 straight Stanley Cups from 1980 to 1983. 19 straight playoff series. They almost won it the next year, too, but they lost to the Edmonton Oilers. This matchup is going to come down to the goalies, because Andrei Vasilevsky is who many consider to be the best goalie in the world. Whereas Igor Shesterkin is in his 2nd or 3rd season as a pro, and he's a Vezina and Hart Trophy candidate. So, Tom, Vezina Trophy is for best goalie, Hart is league MVP. And it's the best goalie in the world versus the best goalie this year. And I'm gonna take the blinders off here. This is gonna be the toughest challenge for the Rangers as far as goalies go. Yeah, every freaking Penguins and Hurricanes fan. Minor league goalies. Yeah. Antti Raanta was a great goalie. Don't give me that crap. I think he could start for any team. Yeah, but right now Tampa Bay doesn't have Braden Point, which that they're still a deep team, but not having him definitely hurts in your lineup. Because you could ask any Tampa Bay Lightning fan, they definitely prefer to have him in there. He could come back in the series, but we don't know right now. Jacob Trouba has been an absolute monster. Again, I keep talking about how salty freaking Penguins and Hurricanes fans are, because this guy, it seems like we talk about it at least once a week. This dude just trucks dudes with these very hard, vicious, yet clean hits. And the fans of the teams he hits will look at slow motion replays, be like, see, he hit him in the head or he elbowed him. I'm like, okay, one, if you're skating with your head down and the main point of contact is still the body, that's on you guys. You want to know how I know it's still clean? The whole elbow thing with Sidney Crosby when his stick got caught in Crosby's skates and basically caused his elbow to go into Crosby. I wouldn't even say he was trying to hit Crosby. It was just a freaking freak accident. And Zach, you're not a hockey fan, but the reputation the NHL has for protecting Sidney Crosby, correct?
Yes, I do know that.
Yeah.
I listened to
even the
NHL.
NHL. Yeah, even the NHL decided not to discipline Trouba for that hit. Yeah, and he basically and then in the next series he absolutely annihilates Max Domi. He annihilates Sebastian Aho at one point. He definitely concussed Seth Jarvis, who had Bambi legs. I hope he's okay. I mean, because that was the turning point of the game. And again, it was another incident. He had his head down. Trouba's just taller than him. He's not trying to hit him in the head, and his feet don't leave the ice until he makes contact with them. So yeah, Trouba is kind of like this kind of becoming this modern day Scott Stevens, but done blowing smoke up Trouba's ass. Tampa Bay is well rested. They just did I say well rested?
I don't know what you said.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is well rested.
You're blowing smoke up a lot of people's asses tonight. Apparently,
yes, you have said that a lot.
Yeah, I tend to do that. Tampa Bay is well rested. They haven't played in 9 days, if I'm not mistaken. And the Rangers played last night at the time of this recording. Is Tampa Bay rusty, or the rest going to help them? Whereas the Rangers are basically ready to play, but they can use a break. I mean, Tampa Bay, they can't simulate in practices. They can't simulate what goes on in the actual game, so they might have to shake off some rust. But are the Rangers fatigued? Again, going back to what I said earlier, if you were to tell me the Rangers were going to the Final Four at the beginning of this year, I'd say you're nuts. But this team truly embodies the slogan they've created this year: no quit in New York. These guys have tons of heart. I think they're the first team in history to overcome two straight 2-game deficits in a playoff series. But not as far as the manner in which they did it. The first time someone came back from 3-1 and then 2-0. Teams have come back from 2-0 on back-to-back series before, but yeah, don't quote me on that. I think I might be screwing that stat up. But yeah, the Rangers put themselves on the map and then some. Regardless of what happens, this is great experience for their young guys. With that being said, I hate to say it, I still think Tampa Bay takes this in 6. Now they're going to go up against a world-class goalie. They're going up against a team that's hungry for a three-peat. And I talked to Big Red earlier today, and he's a big Islanders fan, and I got to bring up this message he sent to me, because he thinks the Rangers are going to do it. And me personally, I think if the Rangers can pull it out of their ass, they do win the Cup. This is what he said to me. I said to him, I still think Tampa Bay takes it, and this is what he said to me, word for word. I don't think so. I think it's Rangers-Avs final. In all seriousness, Tampa is not the team they were last year or in 2020. On paper, I shit you not, I think the Rangers are deeper. No meme. The one thing I'm astounded by is Shesterkin's ability to mask his team's problems 5-on-5. I hate it here. LOL, Rangers in 7. I mean, I hope he's right. But yeah, the Rangers aren't necessarily the best team on 5-on-5. That's something they could fix during the offseason. I'm going to wait till their season's officially over till I talk about what I think they should do there. Now, into the Western Conference. Avalanche versus Oilers. Avalanche beat the Predators and the Blues. Nashville was no match for Colorado as Colorado swept them. And Nazem Kadri has been living rent-free in the heads of St. Louis Blues fans. And it wasn't necessarily his fault. He got put, similar to like the Hedl goal that got called back in Game 1. Nazem Kadri is driving to the net like any good power forward would. And you look at the trajectory, he's not trying to skate into Jordan Binnington, the goalie of the St. Louis Blues. But NHL defensemen do this. They push these freaking power forwards into the goalie. He got pushed into Binnington, and Binnington was out for the series after that. Like, it gives me Chris Kreider flashbacks, and how everyone thinks Chris Kreider's a dirty player because of all the goalies he's collided into. Like, no, don't push a freaking fast guy into a goalie. That's what keeps happening. But anyway, getting off topic there. But yeah, after that, he was the victim of a lot of freaking racial attacks online because Nazem Kadri is a Middle Eastern guy. And when I say racial attacks, I mean like actual racism, not like
Jack.
not
real side talk because I did see stuff about that. It was that like how bad was it? It was because like I know everyone likes to bring up racism here and there, and while it's a very
this was actual
subject,
racism, not I disagree with you politically racism. Because like I saw the screens, I'm like, ooh, that's bad. And not only that, he was in the middle of an interview. Jordan Binnington, the goalie he collided into, was walking by him and threw a water bottle at him. I kid you not. Yeah. So how does Nazem Kadri respond? He responds with a hat trick the next day. And I say, good for him. Good for him. He had a lot of, I don't know if demons is the right word he had in Toronto, but like he definitely had a lot of discipline issues that, he definitely repeated a lot of mistakes in like series against Boston where he ended up getting suspended for dirty hits. But since then, he's managed to dial it back, but still be an intimidating physical player that, has a presence on the ice, not just physically, but, on the score sheet. And then Game 6 in St. Louis, Darren Helm scored the series winner with only seconds left in the game. So, that's Colorado, they're kind of their journey. Next was the Oilers. They beat the Kings and the Flames. The Kings are kind of a young team. They managed to force Game 7. They're in a similar spot to like what the Rangers were like the previous year. Now, in Edmonton, the physicality in this series was tough. Was fun to watch. Watching the Battle of Alberta, the Edmonton Oilers versus Calgary Flames. But Edmonton basically disposed of the Flames in 5 games. It was, it was a relatively quick series. So storyline here, similar to how it's the best goalies in the world going against each other in the East with Vasilevsky versus Shesterkin. We got arguably the 2 best skaters in the world going up against each other, and Nathan MacKinnon and Connor McDavid. And there's a lot more to these teams as it is. Leon Draisaitl is, Kane's right-hand man. They can play on a line together, or Draisaitl commands a presence when he's on the line with other guys too. And Evander Kane, he was making, I don't know if you call it a second or third chance for him, but he's been known to be like this troublemaker and off the ice. But he's holding his own. He scored a hat trick in the Battle of Alberta. He's playing great. And, Cal McCarr is playing great. I think if I'm not mistaken, he's many people's pick to be the Norris Trophy winner. And this year's goal in this goalie matchup is, Darcy Kemper is a solid goalie. I always thought he was a good goalie, even when he was on the Minnesota Wild. Now he's getting a chance to start with the Colorado Avalanche since the Seattle Kraken took Philip Grubauer away from them in the expansion draft. And the Edmonton Oilers have an aging Mike Smith, who is way past his prime, you could say, 41 years old. And
so I have a question, Jack. Is that why right now? What's the score of the
it's
Oilers
7-4 in the second intermission, Colorado Avalanche. The Oilers... the Avalanche chased Mike Smith out of the game. I think I forget the name of the other Edmonton goalie. I think his name is Mikko Koskinen.
Well, either way, I mean, it sounds like that's you wrote this obviously hours ago on our notepad.
No, I wrote this like literally
Like
2
right
hours.
now,
Yeah, 2 hours ago.
But before the game started, right?
Yeah, before the game started. I mean,
Right. I'm trying to give you some credit here, Jack. Don't try and diminish it. I'm saying it sounds like that's kind of like fitting the narrative you put here. I mean, if it's 7-4 and we're just entering the third period, I mean, yeah, I guess the goalie matchup is kind of a weaker one if both teams are scoring at such a. I mean, I know like hockey, you could score pretty high, pretty quick, but 7-4, both teams. I mean, 11 goals after 2 periods is pretty fucking wild if you ask me.
yeah, it is. And to go to my prediction, I think both teams have some of the best players in the world. Edmonton might have a slight edge as far as superstar power goes because Draisaitl and McDavid are definitely in like the top 5, you could probably say. Whereas,
So what you're telling me is to bet the over for every game.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
I'll have to see what they are because like 7-4. I mean, I see a lot of like in hockey betting. I mean, like they can go to like 8.5, 9.5 if it's a good game, but like 11 goals after 2 periods. If I see like 8.5 tomorrow, I might or like the next game, I'll be like, ooh, I'm jumping on that.
Yeah. I mean, so like I said, I see Edmonton slightly more superstar power. But that being said, they're very top-heavy on their offense. I think their best defenseman is probably Darnell Nurse. And I've said previously on this podcast, that contract is going to age horribly. And Colorado, who's my pick to win the Stanley Cup, they're just the more structured team. I mean, they got Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Gabriel Landeskog, and you know they're doing well. And I don't know who scored this game. I'm gonna pull it up right now because last I heard, Mikko Rantanen hasn't really woken up. You know, kind of in maybe a bit of a playoff slumber. If this thing ever decides to freaking load. But yeah, and on the back end, they got Cale Makar, who isn't playing, but they did lose Sam Girard to injury in the series against the Blues, but I think they also got Devon Tays, who could hold his own too. And let's see. Who scored tonight's game? I should have had this up. And this is why we'll never be on Barstool Sports. All right.
Well, we just have to stop making a live show, Jack.
Funny.
They don't care about the live show right now. We are streaming on Twitch, unless we want to go that avenue.
Yeah, maybe one day. But yeah, Kane, Hyman.
Broken
Okay,
Hyman.
let's see. In the first, scoring for Edmonton was Kane and Hyman. And in the second, it was McLeod and McDavid for the Oilers. And, is this all? The way they have this listed is very confusing. These are all the Oiler goals. Yeah, Kane, Hyman, McLeod, McDavid scoring for the Oilers so far. And for the Avalanche, Comfer, McKinnon, Makar, Kadri, who I mentioned before. Rantanen's got one. That's his second of the playoffs. And JT Comfer and Andrew Cogliano. So, yeah, if Colorado could get all those guys going, it might not matter who they have in net. That's no shot at Darcy Kemper. Like I said, he's a very solid goalie. Like, Zach, what are you typing in there?
Don't worry about it.
All right, so yeah, like I said, this team is very structured. Colorado's very structured. I'm going with. I think after tonight it will be a bit of a wake-up call for the Oilers. I think McDavid and Draisaitl have the star power to make things interesting, but still, just because I want to see this thing go 7, I'm going to say Avalanche in 7. So, yeah, that basically sums up what I have to, my predictions for the conference finals. So, guys, I think we basically covered, what we wanted to tonight, and I think it was a good way to get back into things. I don't know, like what our regular schedule will be now that we're back. Do we want to go weekly? Do we want to go bi-weekly? How do you want to do this?
I'm good weekly.
I'm willing to do whatever. I will say right now on the podcast, I wasn't really going to do this, but I will be returning with a shot of Zach Daniels. A shot of Zach Daniels. Not a shot with Zach Daniels, a shot of Zach Daniels. But we're going to have a format. And I will explain that to you when you listen to the episode. So, that's... I think as long as, we find the time, we can get together and we can talk about whatever the top stories are, pretty quickly. I mean, we went pretty long tonight. We also covered NFL.
Yeah, we talked longer about football than we initially wanted to.
Yeah, we covered NFL, so we really went pretty deep. Like the NFL draft, like NFL can get its own stuff sometimes, but we haven't done this in a while. Might as well get back used to talking about it. And I'm getting back to used to being on camera and on the microphone while having a couple of drinks of stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, you brought up an idea of legendary names in sports. Legendary sports movies.
Add to that.
Jack.
Yeah.
Don't no.
No what?
You let me announce that, man. I haven't even started the first episode of that one.
Well, we'll announce it.
They don't know what. Forget what they cut this. Cut this.
Okay. Okay.
But wait, before we start going again, I just thought of something that I want to add.
You don't have to cut it.
All right. What do you want to add, Tom?
All right. So we're sitting in this room. There's tons of trophies around here, and this weekend there's been some interesting trophies, and there's a big trophy up for grabs on the screen, and it kind of makes me wonder, how do trophies become the trophies they are? And just maybe like a background on sports trophies, maybe like a mini series on the most sought after trophies in sports, such as the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, the Stanley Cup
won our trophy.
Well, Tom, I don't know if you know this.
Idea.
Yeah, every player gets their name on the Stanley Cup when they won it. And
Just like the Borg Warner Trophy, every driver that
that's
wins.
That's the Indy 500, right?
Every driver that wins gets their face engraved on the trophy.
Yeah. Now, what do they do when they run out of room on that?
They add more.
Add more? Like they somehow make it
bigger? So there's the original cup.
Okay.
Now there's a base.
Okay.
And now you're on the base.
Okay. Yeah, the Stanley Cup.
They keep adding layers.
Yeah, the Stanley Cup, when they run out of room on a ring, they take off the ring, move the other rings up, add a blank one, and then they take the old ring and put it in the vault in the the Hockey Hall of Fame.
So essentially, you're saying the Stanley Cup is like ogres, which is like onions, because onions, ogres, and Stanley Cup are layers.
I guess you could say that. Yeah, if you were to look at the Stanley Cup, 7-5 now. Yeah, the Stanley Cup, if you were to put all its original rings like back on it,
huge.
It would be like 8 or 9 feet tall.
Wait, it's 124 years old.
Yeah. Is it 120?
I didn't know.
There you go.
But yeah, I think I'll do a little mini series on that about sports trophies. And maybe why some trophies are more regarded than others. Like the World Series trophy.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb.
I think the NBA trophy is kind of dumb.
Either way, I think we can find something good to that, because you know why? I'm a big college football fan, and college football has a long history of traditional rivalry trophies between colleges. A lot of conference rivals.
Yeah, like Notre Dame versus USC is the battle of the jeweled
shillelagh. Oh man, there's a couple. There's one I think it's Iowa and Iowa State or some. There's a big brass pig involved.
Does Texas Oklahoma have a trophy, or do they just call it Red River Rivalry?
I don't know if Texas Oklahoma has a trophy. I think that's honestly just such a brutal rivalry. They just fight it out, and whoever wins fucking wins.
What about Michigan, Ohio State?
Michigan, Ohio State. Oh, I don't know about that Ohio State trophy. I don't think they do.
Like,
Let me see real quick. I'm looking that up.
Oh, yeah,
maybe
right.
they do. Oh, top 10 trophy rivalries in college football. That's fun. Ooh, that's fun. Ooh, we should definitely go over this one day, dude.
Yeah,
Michigan State does. Oh, they have the Paul Bunyan trophy. That's right. I think it's a big fucking axe. Someone has a big fucking axe. The Big Ten has some good ones. I know that for sure. So,
Sports.
Well, they have a monopoly in sports video games, and they can make the same crappy video game because.
Sorry, there's an ad for NHL 22.
And something I wanted to say, going back to the Rangers. I wanted to say this earlier, but I forgot to write it down. Everyone likes to say how bad of an owner James Dolan is, and you know what? Him putting his fingers in the Rangers might have actually helped them in the long run. So yeah, James Dolan doing something good? Well, hold on. We'll have to see what this team does in the next few years, as well as this playoff. But yeah, James Dolan might have changed narrative around himself. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Anyone else got anything to say before we wrap up?
I think we're ready to wrap up, guys. It's pretty late now. We've been what? How long have we been running, Jack? What's the time?
Well, yeah, hour and a half.
Almost an hour and a half. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! All right.
We got to shake off the rust. We had a lot to talk about, and I'm happy to do so with you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
hopefully, Jack.
If we do next
spoiled
week,
one of my ideas, but
Yeah.
I'll be putting out episodes soon of shot of Zach Daniels soon. So and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be lighthearted. It's gonna be probably an overdone medium. They're gonna be short episodes, hopefully for the most part. And yeah, that'll be more content for you guys, and hopefully we can keep doing this. And hopefully next time I can join you guys in person.
Yeah.
Just commuting has been a bitch today, so.
And I'm done with Fire Academy. I can, nothing was stopping you guys from doing things without me, but I'm the leader of you fool.
I'm a seasonal depression person type of guy. I had my wedding back in October. We did a couple episodes up until January 27th. This will be our first episode in like 5 months, almost 4 months. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
Get back in the swing of things, boys.
Boys are back rolling. Well, anyway, you've made it this far. Thank you very much for listening. Be sure to follow us on all our social medias at FUNTS Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and on Facebook at Fat Athletic Nerds Talking Sports. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. This is Jackknife alongside Tommy Joe and the Zach Daniels. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Have a good night.
We are back!
I gotta watch dodgeball now.
All right, that's going to be the cold closing.